the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome to Glendale, Arizona. Those of you who watched that absolutely bonkers game in Detroit where the Lions going down the field in 80 yards in 50 seconds, which was nuts. We've got a big game in the NFC too, along with 9-time Pro Bowl safety John Lynch. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. It's the Cardinals and the Falcons today. Each team looking to kind of get back into that NFC playoff race. Falcons won the toss. They will receive, John. So yeah, this is a big game for both these teams.
No doubt about it. And how about Megatron? Any doubt who the best receiver in the NFL? That question has just been answered.
The second best receiving game all time. 329 yards for Megatron today. Meanwhile, Matt Ryan takes his team on the field after a tremendous performance last week.
Well, no Julio Jones, no Roddy White. They're out with injuries. They run the ball 18 times for 18 yards. But no problem, because Matt Ryan, as you saw his numbers, was nearly flawless. Excellent football game by Matt Ryan.
Steven Jackson, that's the big picture right there. Back into this Falcons lineup. He got hurt very early in week 2 with a hamstring injury. Practiced fully this week. Ready to go. You're talking about 8 1,000-yard seasons in a row, and he gets it on the first play. And he breaks through a couple tackles and fights hard to get 2.5 yards for this Falcons offense. And Jackson trying to invigorate a run game that comes in 30th in the league behind that offensive line.
Well, this offensive line needs to be better at the point of attack. They were excellent in pass protection last week. Matt Ryan only sacked 9 times on the year. Steven Jackson, that's a big road. Harry Douglas was incredible in the absence of Julio Jones and Roddy White last week.
Jones out for the year. Roddy White remains out with hamstring and ankle injuries.
Yeah. Back to left. Come on.
Cardinals come with the blitz. Ryan gets it off. Nearly intercepted as Peterson had a beat on it.
Darrell Washington, you're going to see the double A-gap blitz right here. Washington and Dansby, this is something they do often, and Darrell Washington takes it to Matt Ryan right off the bat.
Third and 8. Blitz comes again. Ryan unloads, and it's a little high for Tony Gonzalez. And the Falcons will go 3 and out on their opening possession.
Well, not much of a surprise that Matt Ryan and the Falcons would go to Tony Gonzalez. Not only is he Tony Gonzalez, but this Arizona defense has been torched by tight ends all season long. Their ability to deal with Tony Gonzalez is critical in this game. They do it well on the first drive.
Patrick Peterson back to receive the punt. You saw it, 4 punt return touchdowns in his career, all in his rookie season. But he told us yesterday he felt there have been a few out there they've left on the field. Bosher to kick it away. Peterson at the 26. Goes backwards and nowhere to go. Couldn't find any room was Patrick Peterson. Let's get a game break. Joel Klatt from L.A.
All right, Kevin, as most of you saw, Matthew Stafford leaping over into the end zone. It was reviewed and confirmed. Detroit has won the ball game, 31-30. The Lions over the Cowboys. Thrilling game. Back to Arizona, Kevin.
Unbelievable. And you missed, we told you about Calvin Johnson's game. You missed the play before that. Matt Stafford threw a ridiculous perfect pass. Johnson got him down to the 1. And now it's Carson Palmer in Arizona on offense for the first time today. And that has been the big issue. This offense has turned it over at an alarming rate. Ellington, the rookie, gets the carry today. As no Rashard Mendenhall. He's out with a toe injury, so the rookie from Clemson, Ellington, will get a lot of snaps behind this offensive line, which has clearly had their troubles.
They sure have, and the left tackle spot has been a rough one. Levi Brown was here. Bradley Sowell has really struggled in pass protection. Andre Ellington has been a breath of fresh air for this Arizona Cardinals offense. An explosive football player. Larry Fitzgerald struggling with the hamstrings, has not been the Larry Fitzgerald we all know. Carson looking for Fitzgerald, but way overthrown. Incomplete.
and a 3rd and long coming up. And this Falcons defense had a tough go, but they came out last week after the bye reinvigorated.
Well, they did, and it was some youth. We're going to see the starters on the defensive line, but there's a rookie right there in Desmond Trufant. Mike Nolan, Mike Smith, they really leaned on their rookies last week on all 3 levels, and those guys performed at a high level.
A couple of linebackers out today. Sean Weatherspoon on your left, Stephen Nicholas with the hat, so they're missing some firepower. It's Andre Ellington, top of your screen, all kinds of movement, and we get a flag.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's Bradley Sowell, the rookie left tackle. Mike Carey, by the way, 24th season, is our referee today.
Well, right away, Mike Nolan picks up where he left off last week against Tampa Bay, showing the pressure. No safety in the middle of the field. Gets Bradley Sowell and the Arizona offense on the false start.
For the first quarter, the starts have really been a bugaboo for Arizona, especially on the opening drive where they script all their plays. 3rd and long. 3-man rush. Palmer's going to run it. Got to get near the 30, but he's going to be short as he slides down to the 24. It's only a 4-yard gain and a 3-and-out for the Cardinals.
You see the coverage, a 3rd and long. Tough duty in the National Football League for any quarterback. Carson Palmer, we talked about the interceptions. Sometimes the best throw is no throw. Carson Palmer sees the coverage, goes ahead, gets some positive yards, and sees if he can flip the field position with a good punt.
Robert McClain back to return his first NFL punt at the 25. And a former UConn star still in bounds across midfield, and his first NFL punt return is a good one as he sets up the Falcons in good position. 27-yard return, 2nd time on 0 for Matt Ryan. Scoreless game from Glendale in the first.
Game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
We're back in Glendale where they're reviewing a play, the return from McClain. It looks like he stepped out, so they're going to take a look at this. Actually, it looked like he stepped out about 3 times on a 27-yard return. And Cardinals are challenging. That's close right there. Borderline, but then there's 2 more steps.
Right there for sure.
He's definitely out. I mean, that's going to come back at least some of those yardage. So they're looking at that right now. Take a look one more time. This is from our other angle right there. Yeah, great shot, guys. So still good field position for the Falcons for their 2nd possession as we are here. Well, came on with a whirlwind, John, because we were watching the end of that great Lions-Cowboys game. But here we are, a couple teams that really need to win to kind of get back in the mix of the playoff chase. The Cardinals with 3 wins, Atlanta with 2. And now Steven Jackson. How will he affect this Atlanta offense?
Well, I think it's important. Look, Matt Ryan performed admirably, incredibly, flawless nearly against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. But against the better teams in this league, you can't just make it a race to the quarterback. You have to have a semblance of a run game. Steven Jackson provides that. He provides a toughness, too, for this team. That takes some pressure off the offensive line.
You know, Mike Smith told us, it's really going to determine how Jackson feels. If he feels great, we're going to put him in there and go with it. But, we'll see how he feels. We're not going to just jam him into the game if he's kind of still working his way back from that hamstring. But the indications were practice went well. They really tested out the hamstring. And this Falcons team needs it. They're never a big running team, but right now they're 30th in the league. And they're on pace for a franchise record low in rushing average per game. So they need some production out of that run game to take the heat off Ryan with all of these injuries right now.
Well, people always talk about this being a throwing league, and you have to be able to throw the ball successfully to be successful in this league. My thought has always been you have to be able to run the ball when you want and need to run the ball. Short yardage, 4th down at the end of the games. And that's why they went out and got a guy like Steven Jackson. And they are sure happy to have him back as they have Roddy White still out with a hamstring injury.
That is a great hat.
Arizona challenge where the runner stepped out of bounds. The runner did step out at the 38-yard line, so the challenge is upheld. 1st and 10 at the 38. Arizona would not be charged with a team timeout. Please put 12:30 on the game clock.
Bruce Arians in his first year as head coach, of course, outstanding, taking over for Chuck Pagano with the Colts last year and got this opportunity. Trying to get this offense going. It's got to be a little frustrating for him being an offensive mind, and that's the part of the team that has yet to kind of catch up. So Arizona's challenge is successful, their first challenge of the game, and here is the second offensive possession for Atlanta. Drew Davis in motion on a 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. Nowhere to run for Steven Jackson against this Arizona defense that is 7th in the NFL against the rush.
We just talked about the run game. Well, if you run the football, it starts up front. You've got to control that line of scrimmage. And 93, Calais Campbell, Shaughnessy 91, they're controlling the line of scrimmage right there. Critical for this offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons to start establishing and imposing their will up front.
Falcons going to line Steven Jackson in the slot to the top of your screen. Second and long. And Ryan's going to get it to Jackson, and he's up to the 42-yard line. He's a better receiver, I think, John, than people give him credit for. Over his career, he's got 3,377 receiving yards, so he can catch it.
He's an excellent receiver for years and years in St. Louis. Big guy that will run downhill, also will beat you and beat you often in the pass game.
Falcons 5th in the league on 3rd down at 43%. Usually pretty good in this area. Third and 6. Jackson picks up the blitz to Gonzalez. Diving attempt, and he's got it. Oh, Tony Gonzalez hauls it in against Javier Arenas. It's a 1st down.
Well, we talked about the Cardinals' struggles against tight ends, and here's a future Hall of Famer. That's a catch by Tony Gonzalez. Javier Arenas all over Tony Gonzalez, but an accurate throw, and that's the trust that Matt Ryan has in Tony Gonzalez. He's covered, so what? I believe he'll catch it instead of the other guy.
202nd straight game with a reception. Only the second player over 200. Jerry Rice, the other. He's got the record. On a 1st down, Ryan looking to air it out. He's got Davis down to the 30. And it's good for an 18-yard gain and an Atlanta 1st down.
Matt Ryan did a tremendous job of stepping up in the pocket because his old teammate, John Abraham, was coming and coming hard. You see Abraham go by. Matt Ryan works the pocket as he does so well, and another accurate football to Drew Davis.
Falcons bring in an extra lineman, Joe Howley, number 61 in the jumbo package. It's Rodgers with a spin move and works his way to pick up about 2. Tyrann Mathieu coming up from the safety spot to make the hit. You know, in the absence of Jackson, Rodgers has done a nice job. He's scored 2 touchdowns each of the last 2 weeks.
He really is, and I think he even gets better and more impactful with Steven Jackson there, because what he is, he's a great change of pace guy. His size, his stature, you get big old Steven Jackson running downhill on you. Then all of a sudden you got 5'6" Jacquizz Rodgers, and he can beat you in many aspects as well. A versatile football player, can beat you with the run and the pass.
They line up Tony Gonzalez to the bottom of your screen at a 2nd and 8. Ryan's got time. Now in trouble. He's going to loft it out of bounds. And got a late shove, but no call there. Looking for Gonzalez, John.
Well, they're gonna keep wearing Tony out until Arizona covers it. Tony looked like he had some separation, but Matt Ryan does not force the football. There's Toilolo, the other tight end, out to the flat. You see Matt Ryan. This is a guy who will go to the 3rd and 4th men in his progression, and also not afraid to throw the football out.
Third and 8. 4-man rush, but pressure comes from Abraham, and now Ryan goes down. Marcus Bernard came in to finish it off, but Abraham got the initial rush.
Matt Ryan, he's been sacked less than any quarterback in the NFL coming into today. But his former teammate really causes this sack, as you said, Kevin. John Abraham at the top of your screen. He gets the early pressure, and it's Bernard that comes in and finishes the deal. But give credit on that one to John Abraham.
And that sack will force a punt, so a big play from the pressure. As Bosch will punt it away, it is Peterson waiting back at his 10 if he'll even get a chance. And it takes a good bounce for Arizona. They'll take over right around their 15, 16-yard line for their second possession after a 21-yard punt. The sack by the Arizona D, and now it's the Cardinals offense on the field next.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Back in Glendale, happy Halloween. Looks like she just saw a ghost. And ghost-like has been the Arizona offense early in games. You see their production on the first possession. It is not good. And Bruce Arians told us the other day, you know, I pride myself as a play caller scoring on the first drive. They haven't done that at all. In fact, in the first quarter, you see what they're up against this Falcons team that has owned the first quarter. So this is the second drive for Arizona. They're going to give to Ellington and not get much there. John, why hasn't it worked offensively for this Cardinals team?
Well, there were so many high hopes. I mean, Bruce Arians comes in. You saw what he did in Indianapolis last year in replacing Chuck Pagano, but he was also the play caller. He did have Andrew Luck there. They go get Carson Palmer and they say, hey, with Larry Fitzgerald, with Michael Floyd, with Roberts, we're going to light people up. Carson Palmer hasn't played like they expected him to play. Their offensive line's been leaky. As a result, they've really struggled offensively.
Four-man rush. Palmer's got time, throws far side of the field. He's got a completion over there to Michael Floyd. Floyd came in time for the reception lead with Larry Fitzgerald, and he picks up the first down.
See Floyd up top working against Robert Alford, the rookie corner who played fantastic football. Good coverage by Alford. That's an accurate throw by Carson Palmer, and great concentration by Michael Floyd bringing that football in.
Patrick Peterson in on offense. He called himself the triple threat the other day. Looking for him. He's got a block. Peterson's got a first down. Think about this, Patrick Peterson, John. We were talking about how good he can be as a receiver. Arians told us he could be the second best receiver in the league. No slight to anyone else, but that's the talent.
And I don't doubt him. You talk about the combination of size and speed, what Bruce Arians calls ungodly hands and athleticism, change of direction. I agree. Patrick Peterson can do whatever you ask him to do, and that's what Bruce Arians intends on doing with the Cardinals.
Cardinals putting together a little drive, but they'll get some flags here in the area of holding. Decent run by Ellington, but this looks like it may be coming back. 19th year as referee, 24th year as an official in the NFL.
Holding, offense number 63, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Let's get a game break with Joe Klatt.
All right, Kevin, you were calling Patrick Peterson the triple threat. Well, Peyton Manning has the quadruple threat. All those weapons on the outside, one of them being Wes Welker, his 9th touchdown catch of the season. 7-0 Broncos in Denver. Back to you, Kevin.
So much for that slump in Denver, huh, Kevin? You get tripped up last week. Peyton Manning right back at it to one of his favorite targets.
He had the best lines. You know, I've thrown a lot of wobbly touchdown passes too. Yes, doesn't matter how it gets there, does it, John? First and 20 after the penalty. Backside pressure. Palmer throws a pick. It's Samuel. Asante Samuel has got 51 career interceptions, and Palmer again throwing the pick. It has killed this Arizona team.
And the Bluebirds are out, and they should be. That's just a football that you cannot throw as a quarterback in the National Football League. In particular with Asante Samuel. Asante Samuel right here. Kevin, you said it, 51 career interceptions. He's made a living out of jumping short routes like that. Cannot throw that football. That's bad football at the quarterback position for the Arizona Cardinals by Carson Palmer.
You got pressure up the middle from Jonathan Babineau, and now you put Atlanta in terrific field position on the Arizona 31, 14 picks, second worst in the NFL. Ryan on the boot, has a man open. It's Davis inside the 15. They get the second-year man from Oregon who had a tremendous one-handed catch against Tampa. He's already got 2 receptions today.
You talk about a running game, Kevin, and one of the reasons you need a running game is so that your play action passing game can work. Watch this right here. Hard play action. Look at those linebackers, 56 and 58. They get drawn up. Matt Ryan throws it right behind him to Drew Davis. That is tremendous execution, and Drew Davis goes to Slatton.
I think they left the ice out in Glendale. Big package for Arizona. They bring in Joe Hawley as an extra lineman. Make that Atlanta, excuse me. And it's Jackson going nowhere. Dockett has played really well the last couple weeks with the tackle for the loss.
One thing this Arizona Cardinals front does on a regular basis is wreck stuff. They penetrate. They get in your backfield. Dockett, Calais Campbell, Darrell Washington. It's absolutely incumbent upon this offensive line to keep Steven Jackson clean. If you get him some space, he'll punish people downfield.
Steven Jackson surveys the scene on a 2nd and 13. Pressure, Ryan in the face of it, and he hits Tony Gonzalez. That'll get it down to the 6, and it'll make it a 3rd and short.
You talk about these mismatches at the tight end position. Gerard Powers, a corner, should be able to guard Tony Gonzalez. You see the strength right there. Tony Gonzalez pushes, extends the arm, creates the space in that avenue, and Matt Ryan throws him a dime. Atlanta Falcons offense really starting to click on this drive.
Samuel started it off with the pick of Palmer, and now a 3rd and 5. They can get the first at the 1. Play clock at 3. Ryan thought about running. Now he's going to toss it for Jackson. And a diving play almost, but no. It was tipped there by Abraham. Johnson almost had the diving interception.
Well, John Abraham, you think he's motivated today? His team chose not to re-sign him. We've seen him in the pass rush right there covering Steven Jackson. And then you see Tony Gonzalez. That's the kind of attention you get when you're Tony Gonzalez. They're vicing him as if he were a gunner on punt protection. We've seen that throughout the year. Arizona breaks it out early.
24-yard field goal attempt for Matt Bryant. And it's up and good. And so the Falcons capitalize after the interception from Asante Samuel, but the Cardinals D holds again. Early, it's the Falcons up 3-0 thanks to Samuel's 51st career pick. Back in Glendale in a minute.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chrysler, imported from Detroit. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by KFC, the official sponsor of Couchgating. KFC plus football equals Couchgating.
We talk about the mismatch at the tight end position. How do you deal with it? Well, you put 2 guys on them and you vice them. We saw Bill Belichick in New England do it. Rex Ryan and Tony Gonzalez saying, come on, man. He's talking to Mike Carey. The league told every team in the league via video that they can go ahead and instill that technique. They can utilize that technique. You cannot grab him. He has more protection than a gunner does. You can put your hands on him. You cannot grab jersey. Tony Gonzalez pleading his case for maybe later today.
And that's up to 5 yards, right? You can do that?
Up to 5 yards. They can put it on. They just cannot grab him.
It's going to be something we will watch as Arena's set to return it, but that kick is out of the end zone, and so the Cardinals will take over, trailing 3-0. We come back to Glendale. Well, the reason the Falcons have the 3-0 lead because Asante Samuel has already picked up Carson Palmer, and not only 1 interception in every game, he's had at least 2 in the last 5 games. It's a big reason why the Cardinals are having trouble winning right now. The defense has done their job just like they did on that red zone stand. Here's Palmer with another chance. Pressure comes, throws it into the dirt, and a late hit. That's going to go against Osi Umenyiora, I believe.
Mike Carey all over it. Osi Umenyiora is going to get 15 right here.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 50, helmet-to-helmet contact, and intentional grounding, offense, number 3, throwing the ball with no one in the area. Those fouls offset. First down.
You see this one, it's clear. Helmet to helmet by O.C. Umenyiora. The other thing that's clear is nobody was near where Carson Palmer threw it away. But that is better than an interception. Throw the football away.
Now here's the intentional grounding part of this.
Look, he's out of the pocket. It does get across the line of scrimmage, but nobody in the area.
Yeah, I mean, he had to get outside the tackle box. He had to get it back to the line of scrimmage. He did neither. So 0 for 2 means that'll offset. Try it again. 1st and 10 for Arizona. Ellington is the back. And again, the big jumbo packaging here. That's Jim Dre, the tight end / fullback. Here's Ellington. And he gets tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a yard. Arizona trying to find it on the offensive line.
This is what penetration does to a run game. O.C. Umenyiora gets in the backfield, pushes Ellington's own lineman, Paul Fanaika, into Ellington, and he trips.
Switching it up, they've got Bobby Massian, second-year man from Ole Miss at right tackle for Winston. And we were told he could get some playing time just to see what he's got. Ellington, the speed. Andre Ellington out to the 40. He's going to pick up 20. It was Deku who made the tackle.
You know, we've heard the last couple weeks Bruce Arians describe Ellington as Sproles-like. We heard Mike Nolan this week describe Andre Ellington as Sproles-like. I'm starting to believe it. This guy runs the football as if he were shot out of a cannon, an explosive young football player, and one they're very excited about, and rightly so, in Arizona.
Chard Mendenhall is out. He struggled all year with a toe injury. And here's the thing, Ellington, maybe he's slight of frame. Maybe he's not a 25 carry back. He hasn't had more than 7 carries in a game. He's got 4 already today. Maybe it'll help this Arizona offense. Here's Palmer going to unload it deep. He's got a man wide open, and a completion down to the 10. Teddy Williams, who was just signed, has the Cardinals at a 1st and goal. It's a 51-yard gain.
Now, this is something that Carson Palmer has been known for throughout his career, the ability to take a shot. He gets the safety to bite up in William Moore, and he lays it out there. And Teddy Williams, you talk about concentration, bringing that football in. Great play by the young man. That's pretty good when you get some dap from Larry Fitzgerald.
They just picked him up this week. He didn't even play college football in San Antonio. He was a track guy. On a 1st and goal, it's Ellington. And a short game there as Umenyiora, Asante Samuel here to break up that play. But that's not bad when you pull a guy off the street and he holds in a 51-yard pass.
He looked like a track guy getting behind. It was Britton Golden a couple weeks ago at San Francisco. That was their speed guy. And Carson said, you got to have that in this offense. Well, they went and found Teddy Williams, and he looked like a track guy, and he brought it in.
Stephon Taylor, the rookie from Stanford, is in at tailback. His first rep. Bruce Arians called him a bull. Palmer looking for Fitzgerald at the 5, but gets decked. How about Samuel coming up and bringing it with the shoulder, and now a 3rd and goal.
This is something Asante Samuel has always done. He kind of lurks back there in the ground, reads the eyes of the quarterback, and he will come up and lay some licks on receivers. Asante Samuel making his impact known early here today.
John, that is not a stat Mike Nolan wants to see. Haven't kept an opposing team off the board one time inside the red zone, but they'll have a little break in the quarter to think about this. Cardinals have a 3rd and goal when we come back to start the 2nd quarter. After 1, it's the Falcons up 3-0. Thanks to a little D. We've seen that today. 3-0 after 1. John, I've got a question. What is this guy on Halloween, if he's that today?
I think that is his Halloween costume. I don't know what it is. It has something to do with the Atlanta Falcons.
I think that's the Falcon red zone dance or something. Teddy Williams, you see he was just signed. He contributes with a 51-yard catch to put the Cardinals in this spot. 3rd and goal from the 4. Ellington goes in motion out of the backfield where it's now empty. Only 4 defensive linemen, no linebackers on the field for Atlanta, and now we get some movement. Who's it on? That's the question.
Looks like it was offsides by the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, you had about 8 guys pointing at each other. Now big call from Mike Carey.
It's Jonathan Babineau who initiates the movement. That was a change of emphasis a couple years ago. If the D-line or defense initiates that movement from the offense, then it's going to be on the defense.
Well, the officials talking it over, trying to get this one right. Now here's the call.
False start. Offense number 63. Although the defender got into the neutral zone, the reaction was delayed by the center. Therefore, false start. 5-yard penalty is still 3rd and goal.
So good explanation. You see Babineau jump right there, but if he doesn't respond right away, a delayed reaction by Lyle Sinline, although I don't see much right there. Questionable call.
Well, he raised his head, and all he had to do was snap the ball there, and then it's a penalty. He didn't do it. And now this makes it a lot harder. 3rd and goal from the 9. Fitzgerald's in the slot left, bottom of your screen. You see him, number 11. Palmer's got time. End zone. He's got a touchdown. Larry Fitzgerald. Arizona in front.
Well, you've got 7 DBs in for the Atlanta Falcons. Larry Fitzgerald in the slot somewhere Bruce Arians really likes him, and it's a little zone defense. What's the key in a zone? To find the soft spot. Right there was the soft spot. Carson Palmer delivers it with authority. That's the kind of execution that Bruce Arians and everybody here in Arizona was looking for from Carson Palmer to Larry Fitzgerald.
By the way, after the interception, Palmer 3 of 3 for 62 yards on that drive. Jay Feely's extra point is up and good. It's Larry Fitzgerald with the score, his 5th touchdown of the year. And it's the Cardinals jumping in front of the Falcons, 7-3. There was a big hole in that Falcons secondary, and Larry Fitzgerald found it for the 10-yard score.
And they were all DBs in there. You oftentimes see a dime defense, a sub package with 1 linebacker, 6 DBs. That was 7 DBs. Carson Palmer found the soft spot in Mike Nolan's defense.
Carson Palmer had a nice drive after throwing the interception on the previous drive. The big play, 51 yards to Ted Williams. Here's Jacquizz Rodgers going to take it on out. And he's out across the 20. Third member of our broadcast team this afternoon is Molly McGrath. She's down on the field.
Thanks, Kevin. Former Falcon John Abraham is Atlanta's franchise career leader in sacks, and today he's already taken down the quarterback that he used to protect. He said that he used to chase Ryan around during practice but could never touch him, and so that today is going to be a lot of fun because he's finally able to hit him, and you can see Abraham putting that early pressure on Ryan and already making a statement in this game against his former team. Kevin?
Well, believe me, Molly and Kevin, I've been in that position before, facing your former team. I'm talking about motivation. When they fired you, when they didn't re-sign you, you want to beat their tail.
John Abraham, 68.5 career sacks with the Falcons at 2nd all-time in their history. Let's throw a little wide receiver screen. It's Harry Douglas, and he turns it into a nice gain of nearly 9.
Harry Douglas, how big did he come up for the Atlanta Falcons last week? You're out a couple of studs, not just top 2 receivers. You're out Pro Bowl, all pro guys in Julio Jones and Roddy White. And all Harry Douglas does is go for 140 yards and 7 catches. Was outstanding last week.
Career high, had 140 of those yards in the first half. 2nd and short, they get it to him again. 1st down. Harry Douglas down to the 34. It was Washington coming over to make the stop. Matt Ryan told us something interesting. He said, you know, the thing about Harry, his patience was the key. What does he mean by that, John?
He's talking on the longer routes. We've seen a couple short ones, but last week versus Tampa, a couple longer down the field, intermediate to longer routes. He's working against Darrelle Revis. Oftentimes players come in a game day, they start rushing everything. He exhibited great patience, and it paid off for he and Matt Ryan.
It's a 1st down for Ryan and the Falcons. And incomplete, looking for Jacquizz Rodgers. Kurt Menefee has our latest game break. Kurt.
Well, and a little NFL history for you in the Howie Terry Bowl. Raiders and Steelers 5 seconds into it. Terrell Pryor with the longest touchdown run by a quarterback in NFL history. The longest run by any Raider ever. 93 yards and a score. They've added another one. It's 14-3. Oakland with the lead midway through the second. Kevin and John.
Wow. Pryor led the Raiders in rushing coming in. That's going to help. What a run. Here it's 7-3 Arizona. Falcons trying to get a drive going. Third reception for Douglas. Short pickup as he's across the 35. Why have the Falcons changed their tempo here, John?
Well, a little up tempo to get something going. This is something Matt Ryan likes a whole lot, but we're seeing all these screens. When we talk about Atlanta not running the football, to me that's a run, and in Dirk Cutter's mind that's an extension of their run game. But I think you still need that Steven Jackson power in the football as well, because to beat the good teams you have to control the line of scrimmage.
Steven Jackson, 3 carries, -3 yards. He's in there on a 3rd and 6.
The great players in the league, Patrick Peterson on Tony Gonzalez.
Blitz, and they found the open man. It's Drew Davis across midfield and knocked out of bounds hard inside the 43-yard line. Rashad Johnson came over for the hit, but Johnson saw the blitz, recognized it, and they pick up 20 yards.
Matt Ryan so effective in always finding the right receiver. He sees the space that Drew Davis is going to have. They run some traffic with the bunch route, and Matt Ryan eyes downfield and accuracy. That's what Matt Ryan does so well. Get the ball out and let his guys do some work after the catch.
Here's Jackson's 4th carry. Tough sledding so far for Jackson. He's going to pick up 3.5. Curious how this is going to change this Falcons dynamic. Coming in Atlanta, averaging 68.3 yards a game. They were at 91 yards a game last year. That's not groundbreaking, but that's a big difference in the course of every week.
And we already saw it earlier. Again, it's running the football when you want to run it, but it's also, it opens things up like play action. Matt Ryan, an excellent play action ball handler, could become a big part of their offense, but you have to run the football to set that up.
Falcons again with an extra offensive lineman. They've used this a lot, trying to get Jackson going, but hasn't been able to do it. Maybe a yard on 1st down. Calais Campbell tripped him up.
Calais Campbell does that to a lot of people. The offensive line not getting much push, but they aren't the only ones against Calais Campbell, an outstanding football player who can really wreck a football game for an opposing offense.
For as good as this Cardinals defense has been, you see Campbell's numbers. On 3rd down, Arizona's a little vulnerable. They're allowing 41%. It's 23rd in the league.
Back to left, come on.
Blitz coming. Ryan unloads. He's got a catch to Tony Gonzalez. Who else? And it's a 1st down.
Well, we talked about it right from the start. Tight ends have really hurt this Arizona defense, and we're talking about one of the great ones of all time. And the thing that Tony doesn't get enough credit for, you see the outstanding concentration, but the yards after the catch. It's something that goes unnoticed with Tony Gonzalez, but one of the best in the business at it.
Ninth play of the drive from Matt Ryan. And knocked away beautifully by Darrell Washington.
Well, we talk about Matt Ryan's eyes. Watch Darrell Washington's eyes. He's just going to get back there in his zone, read the eyes of Matt Ryan, and then break and extend that hand. Darrell Washington can flash at linebacker. What a play.
Jacquizz Rodgers in the game for Steven Jackson at tailback. And they give him the draw. Flag on the play. Short game for Rodgers. This one may be moving back, though, on Atlanta.
Offside. Defense number 55 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Is still 2nd down.
Nope, I was wrong. That's John Abraham, a little anxious to get to his former quarterback.
Here's John Abraham right there. And they're saying that he lined up across the football And you saw the great jump from John Abraham, but it wasn't the jump. It was his alignment that got Abraham right there.
Bruce Arians questioning it. Abraham's really come on. He was trying to find his role the first few weeks. He had 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles against Seattle at last Thursday night. It's a 2nd and 5 after the penalty. Ryan throwing it high. He was looking for his 3rd string tight end. It's Chase Kaufman coming back a couple weeks after a knee injury. On a 3rd and 5, pressure for Ryan, and he's got another first down. Harry Douglas is becoming a go-to guy for Matt Ryan, and it moves the chains.
But it all works together. This one starts with the protection, and if you give Matt Ryan protection, he'll find the soft spot. Harry Douglas gives him an assist. Enough time for Ryan to find Harry Douglas. He falls forward for the first down.
John, I talked about Arizona getting off the field. The Falcons are 4 of 7 on 3rd down today, and they're using it well on this drive. It's Jacquizz Rodgers. Nice cuts, and Rodgers inside the 15. Boy, that was a quick move. When one of the Falcons, Hawley, just got thrown to the ground. I don't see a flag, though.
That run's a great example of the change of pace type of back that Jacquizz Rodgers can be. We've seen them pounding Steven Jackson, not with great effect, but all of a sudden you bring in Jacquizz Rodgers at 5'6". First of all, as a defensive player, you lose those guys back there, and it's a little different rate of speed, the quickness, and it plays tricks on a defense when you bring the big guy, thunder and lightning, with Jackson and Jacquizz Rodgers.
That's Hawley, the extra offensive lineman, in motion. Here's Jackson. And he's finally into positive yardage at least. He gets a yard. Now 6 carries for 1 yard for Steven Jackson. Is that it, though? Is it just a matter of keep going to the well just to keep the defense honest here?
No doubt about it. And, you know, it's like body blows. Late in the game, that can take its effect on this defensive front. And really what you're trying to do, this is a big-time defensive front for the Arizona Cardinals. Take a little chill out of them. And sometimes you got to have those body blows for it to pay dividends late in the game.
Third and 3. Three-man rush. Ryan Ball is batted down. Incomplete. Carlos Dansby has had a rejuvenating type season, and he makes the play there.
And this was something Matt Ryan talked about, having played against the Arizona defense last year. The throwing lanes are hard to find. They're all tall. They're long. Carlos Dansby, who has been phenomenal all year. You see the coverage, but Dansby finishes it with the deflection.
Matt Bryant will try a 30-yard field goal. Justin Bethel nearly blocked the last field goal attempt, number 31. He's on the right side of your screen. Watch it. Didn't get close that time, and Bryant is right down the middle. So the Falcons, after a beautiful drive, have to settle for a field goal. Larry Fitzgerald's got a touchdown on the board today. His Cardinals up 1. We play in the 2nd quarter from the desert.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
Carson Palmer will get a chance to come on the field after throwing a touchdown his last possession to Larry Fitzgerald. But, you know, Atlanta puts together a 15-play drive, but something that's kind of bit them a little bit. They stall in the red zone for the 2nd time today, and they settle for a field goal.
In the last couple weeks, it's been a lot better. They've been doing it almost at a 60% rate. But today, 0 of 2 in terms of turning red zone opportunities into touchdowns.
This one will sail on out of the end zone. And so the Cardinals will take over on their own 20. 2nd quarter from Glendale, 7-6, Arizona in front. Interesting move for the Cardinals. They're rotating right tackles. Eric Winston, the starter, has been flip-flopping with Bobby Massey, and now Winston back in the game. Why?
Well, they had a bye week, and they had an opportunity to get some of these young guys. We saw Atlanta post-bye week. As you see another rookie in Ellington.
And Ellington has some room. And the speed. Andre Ellington, 80 yards. Who needs a right tackle?
That's why you rotate right tackles.
Good analysis. Just hand off with the speed. I love it.
I said earlier, Andre Ellington, one of these guys who looks like he's shot out of a cannon. He hides behind that offensive line. You give him a crease and he is out the door. That is pure speed.
This Cardinals offense, which has struggled in first quarters and in first half, has come out with some explosiveness. The rookie from Clemson, 80 yards. Cardinals 14, Falcons 6.
Today's game is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear.
You look at the 80-yard run and you think offensive line, and the offensive line did a fine job, but look at these wide receivers. Larry Fitzgerald takes great pride in his run blocking. He creates the little alley, but Michael Floyd with the biggest block. You see him get Alfred pinned inside, creates the edge for Andre Ellington, and once he's outside, forget about it. He's got too much speed for the Atlanta Falcons to catch him. 80 yards later, touchdown Cardinals.
Ellington, the third longest play for the Cardinals ever. 83-yard run was the longest ever. That was 80 from Ellington. This is a great day of sports on Fox, John. We've got a barn burner here, and then tonight from St. Louis, a different kind of Cardinals. The baseball version in St. Louis. The walk-off obstruction last night, which was wild, but a great game. Game 4 tonight. It's Clay Buchholz. Questions about his shoulder. He's going against the hard-throwing Lance Lynn for St. Louis. So we'll go from one Cardinals to another Cardinal. It's been a great World Series so far. Really has.
It sure has. And a lot of controversy around that obstruction call, though. We were all watching it. The great thing, the umpire Joyce at third base right away put his hand up. He didn't hesitate. He called it. So long as they call it right away,
you're all right with it.
Have at it.
I think it was the right call. Now the Falcons' turn. We've got a couple field goals on the board so far. Trailing by 8 in the second. They get it out to Toilolo. And he's going to make his way out to the 27, Patrick Peterson. Toilolo is a guy that's vertically gifted. He's 6'8", John.
Yeah, he is 6'8". Dirk Cutter and these Falcons, I mean, he's not just this guy that's going to go down and catch some high balls in the red zone. They believe he's a complete football player, a true Y that can play up on the line of scrimmage and catch the football effectively. They really like him. And they're starting to major in these two tight end looks as we now see Gonzalez and Chase Kaufman.
Trying to get Steven Jackson going. They haven't done that yet. Here's another chance for Jackson. And Calais Campbell wrapped those big arms around him. Come up just shy of a first. It'll be a third and short coming up for Jackson.
Kev, you talk about Steven Jackson and not being effective today, but the play before that, play action again, Toilolo to the flat, no one near him. So it really does so much more than just the production and brings up a third and short. These are advantageous third down situations for an offense.
Again, the Falcons going with an extra lineman. They've done this an awful lot today, and they keep Jackson in. Give it to Jackson, and he gets swarmed. He's not going to have it.
And guess who? Carlos Dansby. Carlos Dansby has been incredible this season. He flows from the inside linebacker position and then gets his arms on Steven Jackson. Dansby, we saw the deflection. He's done it in pass coverage. He's done it in run defense. What a great story. Left Arizona, went to Miami, got fat, basically. Lost 30 pounds and came back and playing really good football for the Cardinals.
Patrick Peterson standing back. He's a returnable kick here. He'll take it. Oh, and a good tackle. Good special teams tackle. Antone Smith. He made a terrific special teams hit last week and makes a great play there. 52-yard punt, 3-yard return. Cardinals, though, offense has been clicking today. They've got the 14-6 lead. The 2-4 Falcons, the 3-4 Cardinals. Two teams looking to stay relevant and climb back in this playoff chase in the NFC. We've had a fun ball game so far. 5:14 to go in this first half. It's the Cardinals offense waking up and a 14-6 lead. Fitzgerald and Ellington with the touchdowns. And on a 1st and 10, they'll give it to the rookie one more time. And he has a short game. We saw in the last touchdown run, John, the blocking from the wide receivers. And it's a theme with this Cardinals team. Go back to last Thursday against Seattle.
Well, and you see Larry Fitzgerald come in and not only block the guys, but do it legally. In today's NFL, you can't really tattoo someone. You got to gently nudge them down such that you don't get fined. But Larry Fitzgerald, he finds a way to get the job done. He takes so much pride in it, and you see it trickle down to young players like Michael Floyd.
He's also got the touchdown today. Palmer on the fake pressure up the middle. He's going to lay it deep for Fitzgerald. He got held for sure. And there comes the flag. That's going to be on Atlanta on Trufant. Clearly got held.
Desmond Trufant went into that nickel position.
Holding defense number 21 before the pass. 5-yard penalty automatic. First down from the previous spot.
Last week versus Vincent Jackson. Today he draws Larry Fitzgerald and he's holding on for dear life. You can't do that, Desmond. And Larry Fitzgerald continues to have a big impact on this game.
Cardinals offense getting things going early. They've got the explosive plays today. They've got 3 explosive plays. You're talking a run over 10 yards or a pass over 20. Why is that significant? They had none the entire game against Seattle. Palmer to throw it. There's Fitzgerald. First down and a move. Getting to midfield. Larry Fitzgerald picks up 20. And we got a flag as well at midfield. Maybe a face mask at the end of the play.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 21 from the end of the run, 15-yard automatic. First down.
And this is the Carson Palmer that I'm accustomed to seeing. On the dime, the intermediate routes. That's what he excels at throughout his career. He struggled with it. You see the face mask. He gets the side of that helmet. 15 yards more for Larry Fitzgerald.
Bring it, bring it.
Stephon Taylor, the rookie from Stanford, gets the carry. And a nice jump cut. He's going to pick up 3. Let's get a game break from Joe Clapp.
All right, thanks, Kevin. And we go to Oakland, and Darren McFadden on the direct snap. Looks to throw it, then takes off. He finds himself in the end zone. Second of the game, Oakland up 21-3 over Pittsburgh. Back to you, Kevin.
I know the Steelers have had a rough year, but that is a stunning score to me.
We got quarterbacks running. We got running backs playing quarterback. But Oakland scoring.
I'll tell you, watch the Raiders a couple weeks against San Diego in that late Sunday night game. They're not bad. They got some talent there, that's for sure. 2nd and 7. Taylor breaking through. Still on his feet. Bruce Arians called him the bull. That was very bull-like, and a first down after a 15-yard run.
Bruce Arians called him a little bull. That looked like big bull right there. If you watch Stephon Taylor run the football at Stanford University, this is something he made a habit of doing. A lot of people question, could that translate to the National Football League? Well, it did on that play. Running through people. Continues to churn those legs, drive those legs. That's William Moore. Again, Larry Fitzgerald blocking Desmond Trufant to create the alley for Stephon Taylor.
Taylor remains in on a first down, gets it again. And a gain of 2. Johnny's the only player at Stanford ever with 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. You see the run game for Arizona has been a big story. Of course, 80 yards of that to Ellington on the touchdown, who's going to come back in, but looks like the Cards ready to take us to the 2-minute warning here. 2-minute warning from the desert. This Cardinals offense on fire so far today, up 8. These a halftime report up next. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, Jimmy with all the news of the day. Megatron, second best receiving day ever in the Lions. A miraculous win. Roddy White with the great hat. It's all coming up at halftime here on Fox. 2nd and 8. Arizona driving again. Palmer fires. Floyd. Touchdown Arizona. A bullet from Palmer. $15 yards to number 15.
This is the Carson Palmer that I know, that everybody knew. The big pocket passer who zings the football in there on time across the middle. Big time football.
I think the Falcons right now have to feel a little stunned, back on their heels. The Cardinals offense playing the best they have all year. 21-6, they're up. We have had a slam dunk contest here today. Thomas Deku, the 360 and the 8.5 playing for the judges. That's pregame. But then you've got the fourth quarter with it all on the line. Michael Floyd. Boom shakalaka. Down the hatch. That one counts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You want the slam dunks that are happening during the game, because that means good things are happening. And I tell you what, Carson Palmer, since that interception, he's been really good. That's the Carson Palmer they wanted when they went out and traded for him.
And he's been on point. This Cardinals offense is playing the best they have all year, at least since week 1. Jacquizz Rodgers looking to make something happen out across the 20. And that's it, as the Falcons will have, let's see, 152 to operate here, trying to get back on. Well, I don't know about you, John, but 21-3 to me is a surprise, especially the way Atlanta played last week.
Especially the way this game started.
Yeah.
We saw Carson Palmer throw yet another interception, but the way he's responded, he talked about stop thinking and start playing. That's what you're starting to see. You're seeing a guy trust his instinct, use his talent. He's a talented football player, got a cannon for an arm. He's throwing on time and he's throwing accurately. And this is the results that Bruce Arians and everybody wanted, and they're starting to see.
And I'm sorry, 21-6. Correct myself, not 21-3. So the Raiders 21-3, and my mind can't handle that much. John, here's Jackson. He gets attacked by Darnell Dockett. Another loss. He's just had nowhere to go, run or pass for Steven Jackson today. You know, it's got to feel weird for the Arizona D, John. It feels like every week they've been behind after turnovers and kind of had to hold the game close. Now with a big lead, it's a little different.
And really, against this Atlanta Falcons, remember, no Julio Jones, no Roddy White. Those are really the deep threats. Make Atlanta earn everything they get. Keep the ball in front of you. You got a good chance of winning this football game.
Each team with 3 timeouts. Ryan behind Douglas. And now the clock is stopped with 1:06. You got a 3rd and long coming up. And the Cardinals have 3 timeouts. They could easily get the ball in good field position. This is a big play.
It sure is. And Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, this is an area they've excelled. Going into half, 2-minute situations, it's something that Matt has been good at throughout his whole career. Big play here, because like you said, plenty of time with 1:06 left on the clock.
Hey, come.
Got to get to the 31. That's not going to get it done. Wide receiver screen, never had a chance. Incomplete to Douglas. And the Cardinals, with 1:03 left and 3 timeouts and the most electric return man, maybe next to Devin Hester, going back to return this punt.
Absolutely. Not only did you have time for Carson Palmer, you got Patrick Peterson. And look, it hadn't been good this year, but every time he's on the field, you got a chance to go the distance.
There's Peterson on your right, Jay Feely, who's been terrific as the field goal kicker on your left. Matt Bosher. Beauty of a kick. And a fair catch by Peterson. Oh, that's a gem. And he did his job. This November, some cops are born, others are made. Get ready for the next evolution of cop drama. Don't miss the show critics are calling obsession-worthy and one of the best new series this fall, Almost Human. The 2-night series premiere starts Sunday, November 17th on Fox. And I want to drive one of those cars. That looks cool. Actually, that one looks better. The Cardinals set to go on the field. A little halftime performance. Right now, their offense has been the one that's been performing. 55 seconds ago, 3 timeouts. Four-man rush. And Palmer is going to go down. 4-man rush, but Corey Peters got him for the sack. And the Falcons call a timeout here. Do they think about it? They've got 3 left. And they do, because they could get it back. While we have the break on the field, let's check in with Kurt Menevee. He's got the preview. What's coming up in a few seconds?
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll have highlights from a very busy weekend, including TB Steelers against Howie's Raiders. And the Jets go for a win in Cincinnati. It's all coming up on the Visa Halftime.
You know, Kev, you see Bruce Arians there. Monty Kiffin, our great defensive coordinator in my Tampa years, used to always say 1 sack in a 2-minute drive, it kills everything. You just see the whole dynamic change. Bruce Arians, an aggressive coach. He wanted to attack. He wanted to put more on the board. That 1 sack, now all of a sudden, goes back into Mike Smith's hands. He's calling timeouts and thinking about getting more clock for Matt Ryan to operate in school.
Yeah, they've got 2 timeouts left, so they could definitely get it back if they hold, especially with a 2nd and 19 here. They're going to make Atlanta use their timeouts, give it to Ellington, and they'll use their 2nd timeout here.
What Bruce Arians is thinking right here is run the football, make Mike Smith use all those so Matt Ryan doesn't have them at his disposal.
Joe Klatt, what do you got for us in L.A.?
Well, Kevin, let me take you to Denver, where a Denver penalty extended the drive. And on the next play, RG3 finds Leonard Hankerson, 7-yard TD, and the Redskins tie it up at 7 just before the half. Kevin.
Now that's also a stunning score to me, but I think one thing is clear. RG3 is getting back to form.
No doubt about that.
And with the Cowboys loss today, there is an open for business sign on the NFC East. 3rd and 16. And again, just Ellington on the draw. Good room for Ellington. He's going to be short. Falcons will call their final timeout, so Matt Ryan will have a chance to maybe at least try a long field goal here, as the Cardinals will be forced to punt.
Those type of plays, you know, you expect the draw from Arizona. You want Atlanta to use and burn that last time out, but give them 5 yards. Don't give them 8, 9 like they just got, because now field position gets flipped. Those are the things that drive people crazy at home. Believe me, they drive me crazy up here as well.
So the Cardinals will be forced to punt it away. We showed you the shot of Robert McClain, number 27, his first NFL game returning punts. And the reason he's doing it, because Harry Douglas, that man, is now the starting number 1 receiver. So it's McClain who had a 13-yard return earlier. Great kick by Zastudil. At the 13, McClain. Up the middle, and he's going to get to the 27. So 25 seconds left. No timeouts for Matt Ryan. But if I need to remind you, he took the Falcons 41 yards in no time in the NFC divisional playoffs last year to win a game with Matt Bryant, so anything is possible.
Certainly capable, but remember, and where do you miss Julio Jones and Roddy White most? The explosive plays. Those are guys that can take the top off of a defense. They can get behind of a defense. Roddy White out with the hamstring, expected back. Julio Jones done for the year. Critical losses for the Atlanta Falcons.
Got 25 seconds. In reality, they probably have to get it down to about the 35, 36-yard line of Arizona. Pressure up the gut. Ryan throws it complete to Douglas. He does not get out of bounds. With 14 seconds left. I got the spike in to just at least take a shot at the end zone here with 7 seconds left. I mean, I guess it's possible you get a quick hitter, but I think that's probably asking a lot.
In that last play, you talk about little things that win and lose a game. Jeremiah Bell, Harry Douglas catches it, but come up and hit him before he gets out of bounds. I'm talking a difference of about 15 to 20 seconds.
Again, no timeouts for Atlanta. This could be the last play of the half. Cardinals come with the blitz. Ryan in trouble, and down he goes. John Abraham against his former team said, yeah, I see you. And he ends the half with a sack of his former quarterback. Good half for the Cardinals, up 21-6. Visa halftime show is now. Kurt Menefee in L.A. He'll take you around the league. Kurt, take it away. It's been a Cardinals first half from Glendale, 21-6. They lead the Falcons. Offense have been terrific today. And of course the defense, which has been kind of underrated all year, more than doing their job. A reminder, you can follow your team on iTunes. Full games, highlights, and more at itunes.com/NFL. Carson Palmer's been great, and John Lynch. This is an offense that Bruce Arians, I think, envisioned and hasn't been able to see it until really today.
Well, the explosive plays have come to light, and that's what they've been lacking. You have to have those explosive plays. That's what Bruce Arians' offense have always had as a characteristic, and they've got it right here via Ellington, via Michael Floyd. They're getting it, and Carson Palmer's starting to really look like the Carson Palmer of old.
I mean, they had 0 explosive plays against Seattle their last game. They've got 6 today. John, you're on it. That's been an enormous difference, and Arizona will take possession to start the second half on their own 20. Let's go down the field and say hi to Molly.
Thanks, Kevin. The Falcons averaged 1 yard of rushing last week, and I talked to Mike Smith at the half, and he said that they need to do a better job of their run blocking to get their run game going more. He said it's crucial that they get Steven Jackson going on offense, and after this first drive of the second half, he hopes to find a better balance of the run and the passing game in the second half.
Well, Molly, that is an excellent point. They had 18 carries for 18 yards last week, but today it hasn't been much better. Steven Jackson, 8 carries, just 2 yards so far. It's the Cardinals up 21-6, and they started with Andre Ellington, the rookie, and he's had himself a day. He's out near a first down. Ellington's got an 80-yard touchdown. He's got 124 yards to start this half, and look at the yardage, and especially the run game for Arizona, which had been invisible all year.
When you see the yardage tilted towards the Arizona Cardinals, they only have 24 plays, but they're averaging 11.5 a pop, whereas Atlanta 37 plays only at 3.5. So those explosive plays are the difference in this game right now.
You're seeing the breakout game for Andre Ellington, who nudges ahead just enough to get a first down. Again, Rashard Mendenhall was signed in the offseason to give him the veteran presence. He's been hurt really all year. Hasn't worked. And they've been hesitant because of his smallish frame to give him a chance. He hasn't had more than 7 carries in a game. Maybe it's time to give him more.
The cat is out of the bag. You know, Bruce Arians could say, hey, we want to play him 30 snaps. We want to play him 40 snaps. He keeps playing this well. You can't help but keep the kid on the field. Now, you got to alternate Stephon Taylor in there. Not give him too much, but the kid's a special player.
Blitz picked up, and Palmer able to get it away to Michael Floyd, who's out across the 35-yard line. He's going to pick up about 5 on that play. Asante Samuel on the tackle.
And watch Andre Ellington right there. We're going to have an A-gap blitz by Warlow. And here comes Andre Ellington, diminutive in stature, but that's not a great block. It's enough, though, to give Carson Palmer the time to find Michael Floyd. Good football by Andre Ellington.
Now they go the other rookie, Stephon Taylor, in there. 3 carries, 20 yards for him. On a 2nd and 5, Taylor rushes forward, and he's going to be about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. Joplo Bartu at linebacker makes the stop.
You just mentioned the word forward. When I watch Stephon Taylor, whether it's college, whether it's the NFL, he's always falling forward. And it's a characteristic of backs. And again, I said it, a lot of people question whether that style would work in the NFL. I promise you it will, because the kid's got so much will and talent.
Go, 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 go. Right spot, these two. Hey! Go. Hey! Come on down, White 90.
Palmer gets rid of it. He's got it first. Nice throw by Carson Palmer. Ellington has been everywhere. They want him in the matchup, and slow to get up, though. Looks like he's all right. First down, Cardinals.
Well, we talk about mismatches with tight ends. This is a mismatch, too. Andre Ellington on Warlow. That's a matchup Carson Palmer will take anytime. And Carson Palmer puts the ball out there where it needs, but that's a fine catch by Andre Ellington. Really a versatile football player. We've seen him do it running the football. We've seen him pass block, and now catching the football.
Palmer's got a lot of time, and now the pocket breaks down, and down he goes. Looked like he had time initially, but things broke down on him. Parade Jerry was the first to get there, and Bartu finished him off.
You watch Parade Jerry. He's going to come from that defensive tackle spot, working on Fanica, and just bowls himself right back to Carson Palmer and brings him down.
3rd sack of the day for Atlanta. Taylor. Good run by Taylor. And he continues to show you the power that he's got out to the 45. We take a second for a game break. Joe Klatt has that for us.
All right, thanks, Kevin. To Denver on the first drive of the second half. Peyton Manning stripped by Ryan Kerrigan. Brian Orakpo recovers that one on the ensuing drive. Washington in the end zone. Alfred Morris with the TD run. And the Redskins up 14-7 over the Broncos on the road. Kevin.
Look at my old coach, Mike Shanahan, returning to Denver. That would be sweet victory for him if they can stay on top of the Denver Broncos.
That would also put the Redskins back in the mix. Blitz on Palmer. He unloads it deep for Floyd, but wrong side. Floyd was running down the seam. He looked to throw it towards the corner. Incomplete. Osi Umenyiora got some pressure on Palmer. Cardinals will punt. That's McLean. First game returning punts today. Zastadil unloads a beauty. And it hits a Cardinal player, but he got blocked into it. And that'll go Bethel down there on the coverage. So McLean doesn't get a chance to return this one. Falcons take over.
Game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Ford. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more.
Beautiful day in the Valley of the Sun. The dome is closed, though, in Glendale. These Cardinals have been fired up 21-6 on the Falcons to take over on their own 20. Ryan. They're going to sling it out to DeMarco, the fullback, and that is not going to get it done.
We go back to that last punt and watch McLean, the returner. No fair catch signal. Perfectly legal to go hit Bethel. A lost art in the NFL, having your head on the swivel. That used to be something you always knew, and I think these players think no one can hit me anymore because of all the fines and emphasis. Well, Justin Bethel just found out they still can.
Steven Jackson just nowhere to go. No gain for Steven Jackson. Ohio has 9 carries for 2 yards.
Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, knows Atlanta's a throwing football team, but his style is to stop the run and put it on the offensive quarterback to throw the ball downfield. Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, to win this game, they're going to have to put it in the air and find some chunk yardage in the passing game.
Falcons are 4 of 10 on third.
What?
Cardinals rush 4. Ryan unloads. It's intercepted. Darrell Washington. The Cardinals pick off Matt Ryan, and they are set up down at the 22.
Well, Matt Ryan typically makes such great decisions. This one, not that. Darrell Washington just reading the eyes of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan locks on Chase Kaufman trying to get up the seam. Darrell Washington with a very athletic play, reading the eyes and then extending and concentrating, bringing the ball in.
It's only the 4th interception of the year for Ryan, 2nd of the season for the athletic Washington, and a 1st and 10 at the 22 for the Cards. Ellington moves the pile to the 19 or so. Give him 2.5 on that carry. This Cardinals defense hasn't gotten maybe the proper amount of respect because they've been playing from behind a lot, but you see playing ahead how aggressive they can be.
Todd Bowles has done a fantastic job. Now, some pieces, they were here. When you talk about Calais Campbell, Darnell Dockett, Darrell Washington, and in the back end, Patrick Peterson, you had the makings of a good defense. Steve Keim, the general manager, did a nice job of supplementing players like John Abraham and Tyrann Mathieu in the draft, and it's all come together.
Draw, Ellington fumbled the ball, and he got it back. Oh, heads up. He's going to lose big yardage here, but he somehow peels back to get his own fumble. 3rd and long.
And you see Jonathan Babineau, I believe, get that left hand on the ball, and Ellington quickly pounces on the football and regains it. Jonathan Babineau, very good player, finds himself in the opponent's backfield often, causing the fumble there.
Alfonso Smith now in the backfield on a 3rd and 17. Palmer hitting Andre Roberts. At the very least, he'll make it an easier field goal try for Jay Feely. Desmond Trufant there to get Roberts out of bounds, but now Feely will try a field goal.
He's saying, Coach, I got it high and tight. I understand it.
Jay Feely's made 11 straight field goals ever since missing a 50-yarder in week 1. This a 39-yarder. Zastadil the hole. And Feely puts it up and puts it through. So the Cardinals take advantage of Darrell Washington with the interception, and then Jay Feely with the field goal. The Cardinals add their lead 24-6. Falcons defense gets a win by holding over the turnover, just allowing a field goal, but this defense for Arizona has been splendid today.
They have, and they've been really good all year. The one caveat being tight ends have really had their way. But when you talk about this defense, you think of all 3 levels. Calais Campbell up front, Washington at the linebacker position, Patrick Peterson. Those are 3 elite players at their respective positions.
Rodgers bobbles, and now will just take a knee. And so the Falcons will start it off on their own 20-yard line. Matt Ryan has some work to do. His Falcons trailing 24-6. Sometimes it's easy to explain why the score is 24-6, and that does it right there.
No doubt, and obviously that skewed a little by Ellington's 80-yard run, but that's football.
Steven Jackson just looking for anything, and he's got nothing. All day long, this Falcons defense has been all over Steven Jackson. You can watch 30 minutes of live NFL games free now through October 29th, called Star NFL. to download now as Falcons look for answers against this Arizona D. Fake to Jackson. Penalty coming. That's going to be on the offensive line. Someone got thrown down literally on Arizona. I didn't see who made the mistake, but that's going to be moving back for the Falcons.
Holding. Offense number 63. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Believe it was a suplex by Justin Blaylock.
Justin Blaylock's really been the most consistent player on that offensive line. You see him at the left guard position, blocking Frosty Rucker. He takes him to the ground. Mike Carey all over it.
Sam Baker, the usual starting left tackle, has been out a couple weeks with a knee injury. Lamar Holmes has been in for him. Four-man rush. Ryan gets it off, and a completion and a broken tackle to Douglas. And at least gets close to the original line of scrimmage to make it still a 3rd and long, but at least you could see the first down marker. One thing that strikes me, this Arizona defense is fast. Sideline to sideline, they're fast.
You know what they are, and Todd Bowles comes from that Bill Parcells, coached under Bill Parcells, played under Bill Parcells. It's the size-speed combination. He wants big, long guys that can flat-out run. That's what I see when I look at this defense.
Hey, 5 down. Hey, Pete, over here, 5 down. Hey, come on, Pete. Get right here, Pete.
Third and 11. Ryan Ball is tipped, but it's caught anyway for a first down. Drew Davis has the grab. That ball got tipped a little bit at the line, but Ryan had enough mustard on it to get it to Davis for the first.
Drew Davis is another one of these wide receivers asked to step up in the absence of Julio Jones and Roddy White, and that's an absolute strike by Matt Ryan. And nice job by bringing that football in by Drew Davis.
Yeah.
Falcons needed something. Davis comes in motion, and we get a penalty for this one gets going.
False start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Jeremy Trueblood, the right tackle, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
And one thing that's been very evident, Tony Gonzalez, obviously a future Hall of Famer, having a fine season again. Well, tight ends have absolutely ate this Arizona Cardinal defense up. Today, they've held Gonzalez to 26 yards on 3 catches. Pretty good adjustment there by the Arizona Cardinals.
Rangers. What's the big goal?
First and 15. Again, it's a 4-man rush. And it's DeMarco, the fullback, out of the backfield. He gets it up to the 40. Nice little pickup. He's going to get 11. Jeremiah Bell was there, so was Matt Shaughnessy.
Well, those struggles against tight ends started in the first game of the season with Jared Cook from the St. Louis Rams. And look at Jimmy Graham, 9 receptions, 134 yards. Vernon Davis, 8 receptions, 180 yards and 2 TDs. Today, Tony Gonzalez, only 3 for 26 yards. It's good football by this Arizona defense.
2nd and 4. Ryan going for that tight end. What a catch. Shaw's knocked away. Gonzalez had his hands over Darrell Washington, but he said, incomplete.
Players that play well in this league, they finish. Everything about this says catch Tony Gonzalez, but watch Darrell Washington. He gets his hands on that. The finish, and he continues to rip after that football. That's high-level defense by Darrell Washington.
It's loud in Glendale, 3rd down. Ryan's going to dump it over the middle to Douglas for a first down. And he works his way to the 49-yard line. So Harry Douglas comes through with a 9-yard reception to quiet the crowd. That's John Abraham down on the ground. He's had a good game so far against his former team. A sack, ball knocked away in the end zone. General Manager Steve Keim snapped him up for a reasonable 2-year deal and playing well. They 10 to Abraham. We'll be back in a moment. John Abraham off the field. Looks like he's all right. Got kicked in the head on that last play. His Cardinals up 24-6. 3:27 to go in the third. Falcons trying to get back in the game. Ryan is going to hit Toilolo, but Patrick Peterson is right there. Just a short game. It's a 3-yard game to Toilolo. Boy, Patrick Peterson, meeting with him the other day. That's an impressive young man, I'll tell you that.
He sure is, and it sounds like his father, Patrick Peterson Sr. I mean, I think he should be on the Arizona Cardinals payroll. You talk about all the work he does with Patrick Peterson, what he did for the young man Tyrann Mathieu, bringing him into his home. Patrick Peterson stood on the table to get him drafted here.
Jackson gets to the 45.
Really a neat story. Patrick Peterson goes in to Bruce Arians and he says, Coach, we need to get this guy. I promise you he will behave if he comes here. And Tyrann Mathieu has paid great dividends playing at a high level in his rookie season for the Arizona Cardinals.
And they've been great. I mean, Peterson, we know he's a Pro Bowler, but Mathieu has been a steal in the draft. We have an injured player. It's Marcus Bernard for the Cardinals. They tend to him as we await a 3rd down and 4. Peterson said his dad did so many things. His dad is a pretty noted speed coach in Florida. One of the things his dad did with him to work on his hands, he would throw him water balloons. Why? It works on your soft hands. You can't let the balloon break. And he said it was a key. One of the big things that's really helped with his hands.
And this year, Patrick Peterson, if he has one fault, he's always had a habit of dropping his hands on his press coverage. Well, this year, he and his dad, he's not going to drop his hands anymore. Worked on backpedaling and carrying a medicine ball. We'll show you a little later. Patrick Peterson now aligns at the line of scrimmage with his hands up. I asked him about it. He said, that comes from my dad. We worked on it this entire offseason.
Oh, it's working. He and Mathieu, the former LSU Tigers, have been stars. And they're D looking to stand up here. 3rd and 4. John Abraham back in the game for Arizona. Blitz coming. Ryan gets it near side. Douglas stays on his feet for a 1st down. Boy, he could have had more, but he tripped up a little bit. But it does keep the drive moving for Atlanta.
You see the bunch formation. What that does, it creates confusion, creates traffic. Harry Douglas slips off to the flat. Matt Ryan, when there's a guy open, he typically doesn't miss it. He finds the open guy and gets the 1st down.
Harry Douglas, some credit. Elevated from the slot receiver to the #1 with all the injuries. The last 2 weeks, he's got 15 catches now. 8 for 69 yards today. Has Jackson over the middle, but stuck immediately. He gets down to the 30. There's the middle of that defense. Daryl Washington with the tackle.
And Kevin, look, they aren't playing soft coverage. They're playing aggressive. But you keep talking about 3-yard gains, 8-yard gains. Those aren't going to hurt you when you're up 24-6. Tackle the catch. Come up, live to see another down. Atlanta is having to earn everything they get. They aren't getting behind this defense. Excellent play by this Daryl Washington and this Arizona defense.
11th play of the drive. 1:10 to go, 3rd quarter. Falcons really need to finish this one on a touchdown to get back in it. Pressure comes down, goes Matt Ryan. Frosty Rucker flexes the muscles with the 3rd sack for the Cards.
Really a coverage sack right here. Patrick Peterson shows like he's in man coverage, but no, they're in a zone coverage. Dansby hits him coming across the middle. No one open for Matt Ryan, and Frosty Rucker comes and finishes the deal, sacking Matt Ryan.
Both Jackson and Rodgers in the game on a 3rd and 17. Blitz picked up. Ryan going deep into double coverage. It's intercepted. Picked off by Johnson, who's tripped up across the 20. This Arizona team, which intercepted Matt Ryan 5 has got him twice today.
And they seem to have the formula, Kev. It's pressure. It's keeping the ball in front of you, making Matt feel like he's got to make a play. He tries to make the play, and the Cardinals make him pay.
First pick of the year for Rashad Johnson, Cardinals. Big lead. For a guy in Matt Ryan who just doesn't throw interceptions, I mean, he just doesn't, that's a pretty amazing statistic.
It is. Different defensive coordinator. Last year it was Ray Horton. This year it's Todd Bowles. They've got the formula with Matt Ryan.
Stephon Taylor is the tailback on a 1st and 10 for the Cards and a play fake. Here comes pressure. Palmer eludes, fires to Fitzgerald out to the 40. Best game of the year for Carson Palmer, bar none.
He looks like the Carson Palmer, the good Carson Palmer, moving up in the pocket, firing an intermediate pass on the dime with authority.
It's been all Arizona Cardinals in the desert. End of 3 quarters. 24-6. Cards and their defense in the lead. At 30 years old and 57 days, Larry Fitzgerald becomes the youngest in NFL history to catch 800 balls. That ended the 3rd quarter. Fitzgerald 4 for 48 today. His Cards in front to start the 4th as Taylor, the rookie from Stanford, gets to carry on a 2-yard gain, but that's some pretty impressive company. Larry Fitzgerald, the top of the list.
And he caught the ball from Carson Palmer, Kevin. You think about how this game started for Carson Palmer. Another interception, his 14th of the year to Asante Samuel on a ball that he had no business throwing. But boy, has he responded. Now he sits 11 of 14, 2 touchdowns, 156 yards. He's really looking good today.
Split Ellington to the bottom of your screen. They're going to go to him. And he was patient waiting for the block. John, he just slipped. But, you know, I want to talk Fitzgerald for a second because we spent some time with him on Friday watching Arizona practice, and you could tell how frustrated he is. He said the hamstring's been a high hamstring. It's felt bad all year, but he's practiced, he's played. He told us he's been hamstrung by hamstring.
Being hamstrung for him, he hasn't had the separation. It used to be you tried to go one-on-one on Larry Fitzgerald. Bad deal for you on the defense. This year, a lot of people have done it to him. He's got his bye week next week. He's looking forward to resting those hamstrings, getting healthy for the rest of the season.
On a 3rd down, it's Palmer firing. Fitzgerald knocked away. Nice play. All for the rookie. Great coverage, and Arizona punts.
Here he was hamstrung by Robert Alford because that's outstanding coverage. Look at the young man sitting off. This is a rookie getting more playing time after Atlanta's bye week. That's textbook coverage by Robert Alford. Getting the hand in there, getting the ball out. Excellent.
McClain will let it go, and the Cardinals will down it. It's Bethel, who's everywhere at the 1. There's a penalty, though. The punt had a hang time of 4-5 from Zastudil. 55-yard punt. Let's see if this will stay at the 1. Justin Bethel is a heck of a special teams player, boy. And we showed him getting blocked earlier in the game. He almost blocked a field goal. He's their best guy.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 23. 10-yard penalty enforced from the touchback spot. 1st and 10 on the 10-yard line. Timeout.
That's not a touchback. That's on the half-yard line now. That's wrong. Falcons frustrated all day by this Arizona Cardinal D. 24-6.
Today's game is sponsored by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
The end zone has been an oasis for this Atlanta offense. They haven't found it because the defense for Arizona has been outstanding. And now to get back in the game in the 4th quarter, they've got to go 99.5 yards. And movement Well, they can only move it back another inch.
False start. Offense number 88. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
That's on Tony Gonzalez. It's loud down there in that red zone. Make no mistake. Showed you that shot of the end zone. That's pretty daunting when you're looking at a sea of red and 99.5 yards to go. Pressure, Ryan tips. Incomplete. This pressure from the Arizona D has been a huge factor today.
Well, Matt Ryan talked about after that game last year, week 11, a couple tip balls translated into touchdowns. He's instituted a new drill into his practice regimen. Calais Campbell. He stands 6'8", long, strong, gets his hands up, and I don't care how high you release it, you can't get it over Calais Campbell.
Ryan firing, penalty from the secondary, and it's complete. Out to the 15-yard line. Boy, that's a big-time throw. The rookie Darius Johnson, his first reception. And I believe the penalty is going to be on Arizona, but we'll see. Maybe Johnson pushed off.
Holding. Defense number 25 is declined. The play results in a first down.
Gerard Powers, that's the penalty. That's a big-time throw. Ryan's foot was almost out of the end zone when he threw it.
You see Gerard Powers with a fistful of jersey there. The officials all over it. Real nice job by Darius Johnson, fighting through the hold, concentrating to bring that football in.
Johnson, who played for former Falcons head coach June Jones at SMU, and that spread offense. First and 10, a little breathing room. Abraham coming and incomplete, and Douglas kind of gets tripped, and now a late flag coming from behind Douglas. And an injured player for Arizona. That's Abraham again. Remember, he was down earlier and had to leave the game for a couple plays. Now let's see what the flag is. You know, I thought initially, John, real time, that Douglas just kind of got tangled up. Replay may show otherwise.
Pass interference. Defense number 58 from the spot of foul. Automatic first down.
So the Falcons getting out from their own 6-inch line.
Watch Darrell Washington right there in your screen. He picks up Harry Douglas coming across. Good call. He hooks and restricts Harry Douglas going across the field. A nice call by the back judge. That's Keith Ferguson.
That's a pretty good job by the Falcons, too. I mean, they've got a long way to go here. 12:52 to go. Time is certainly a factor, down 24-3, but getting some breathing room now. And Matt Ryan has had all kinds of pressure, John. He's been sacked 3 times, hit 10, 14 hurries. They've been in his face.
This front's a good one, and they've stepped it up even more so today. When you can fluster Matt Ryan, you're doing some good work, and they've done that today.
12:52 on the game clock. 12:52 on the game clock, please.
But down 24-6 with under 13 minutes to go. You need touchdowns now, and that's the bottom line. This is, you want to see those leader stats 10 minutes into the game, not in the fourth. 14 rushing yards for the Falcons today. That's horrendous. 4-man rush. Ryan has a lot of time, just nobody there. Nobody open. Incomplete.
And look, it's reality time. Julio Jones, he's not here. He's out for the season. But Arizona's been aggressive all day. This is where you'd love to have a guy like Julio Jones. All right, you want to play aggressive, we'll run right by you. And Matt Ryan, a guy who could get the ball out there to he and Roddy White. They don't have the luxury of that right now. And they're having to earn every drive. Arizona's smart to make them do it.
And you illustrated the tight ends, how they hurt Arizona. Well, Mr. Gonzalez only has 26 yards today. He's done a good job. 2nd and 10. Falcons movement on the left side. It's on Lamar Holmes. Move it back 5.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty, still second.
Game break. Kurt Menefee, tell us what's going on.
Well, it's not the most comfortable looking 1-yard catch you'll ever see, but Joel Dreesen wide open makes the grab, and it's important. Ties the game between the Broncos and Skins at 21 in the 4th quarter. Kevin and John.
A dandy going on up
Good
there.
ball game right there.
Here it's been all Arizona.
Hey. In. Go it.
And set up a screen to Rodgers. It's a nice move, Roger. Chris Rodgers. That could have gone for nothing, maybe even a loss. Darnell Dockett was there, but Rodgers did pick up 6. Now a big 3rd down.
And this is something that sometimes goes unnoticed, but just all-out effort. Watch Darnell Dockett. It's hard to rush the passer in this league. You got big men pushing you. Watch him redirect, hustle downfield, and make the tackle on Jacquizz Rodgers. Effort takes no talent. Darnell Dockett's got a lot of talent, but that was tremendous effort.
Ryan intercepted again. The 3rd time they got him. It's Matthew. That's just unbelievable. They've intercepted Matt Ryan 8 times in the last 2 games. 2nd pick of the year from Matthew, and this Cardinals defense is jacked. Tyrann Mathieu with the pick. Cardinals playing some D. 8 interceptions the last 2 games against Matt Ryan. Now the Falcons won that game last year where they picked him off 5 times, but 3 interceptions on the last 3 drives today. And Arizona is having their way with Atlanta. And I look at Tyrann Mathieu, John. This is a guy who has a 2nd pick here, 3rd rounder from LSU. You talked earlier about what he's overcome, but he's been a steal. And Steve Keim, the general manager who pulled the trigger on that draft day move, you know, has to be smiling right now. He told me a couple times a week he will text him at about 6 in the morning, and you see Ryan frustrated, just randomly, just a text, says thank you.
That was pretty good right there. Handing the interception ball to Patrick Peterson, who was so instrumental in Matthew being here.
It's just a great story. Palmer going deep for the nail in the coffin. Fitzgerald can't make the play. Trufant was there at pretty good coverage as well. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
That's a smart shot, as they say. Steve Keim looking at it, but 2nd and 3. Great time to take a one-on-one shot to Larry Fitzgerald, because you know what? If you don't get it, 3rd and 3. Very manageable situation. That's smart football by Carson Palmer. Good call dialed up by Bruce Arians, the head coach, who also calls the plays for the offense.
Keim, the former offensive guard for NC State. He looks tough enough to go play right now, John. I got to tell you, 3rd down. Little pitch, Ellington. Good blocking. He's got it and then some. Andre Ellington. What a day for the rookie from Clemson. A 19-yard run.
They knew the pressure was coming. Look at Bradley Sowell and Darren College out front. Sowell gets 1, gets 2. Here comes College with the assist. Ellington just hides behind him. Excellent execution. It's all working together for the Arizona Cardinals today.
Andre Ellington had 179 yards rushing coming into today. He's got 159 yards rushing today. Here's Taylor, the other rookie. And Stephon Taylor showing you the power. You know, I think when you look at this Cardinals offense and what they hope it could be, certainly blocking by the offensive line, which they've gotten now today better than they have. But I think you look at the Saints. They keep saying Darren Sproles for Ellington. If Taylor can be a Pierre Thomas, why not?
Absolutely. They need to find that Jimmy Graham. They don't have that.
That's hard to do, John.
that is hard to do. But everything else, Carson Palmer, he got to play more like Drew Brees. He's doing it today. Carson Palmer, if he plays at this level, the Cardinals are going to be tough to beat because the defense is so darn good.
2nd and 5. Here's Taylor again, and that time he just had no chance That play was blown up by Jonathan Babineau. But I think, yeah, obviously it's a stretch. But what I'm trying to say is maybe today you're seeing a little view into what the future could be with two rookie backs really playing big.
You know, the tough thing for the Arizona Cardinals, they're in the NFC West. And who else is in that division? The Seattle Seahawks, the San Francisco 49ers. So you don't just need to be good. You need to be really good to beat those guys. Seattle, they're a wrecking crew. You turn on the film versus those guys, they make you pay. No one wins a football game after they play them. They decimate people.
I like that. 3rd and 9. Palmer in trouble. Down he goes. Pressure up the gut. Jonathan Babineau with the sack.
Jonathan Babineau is a guy that Carson Palmer himself, he said everyone talks about the safeties. Sean Witherspoon. Babineau, to me, Carson Palmer said, has always been the guy who is underrated.
Jay Feely's got a 39-yard field goal today. This will be from 38 yards out. Dave Zastudil will hold it. Mike Leach, pride of Jefferson, New Jersey, on the snap, and Feely is true. 13th consecutive field goal.
Well, you want to get sacks in the NFL? Do some push-ups. Works for Jonathan Babineau.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut, stuffing 3 cheeses into their croissants. Well, this weekend, it's new.
Impressive is the word to describe the Cardinals today. 27-6. They lead the Falcons. 8:40 to go in Glendale. Larry Fitzgerald, 800 catches. Youngest ever in his terrific career. The defense has been amazing. Feely will kick it off. And they will start on the 20. Will Atlanta. John Abraham against his former team. That's the only thing. He's been down a couple times today and now questionable to return. He's had some impact too. At a sack, pass knocked away, but that's had to go out a couple times today, and we don't know if we'll see Abraham again, although he looks okay there. Matt Ryan has thrown interceptions on the last 3 Atlanta drives.
Watch off the slot. Get back up. If you hit your mic, keep it tight.
Well, Campbell jumped. Question is, was he drawn? Mike Carey will sort that out and tell us.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 90 jumped into the neutral zone, causing an immediate reaction. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It was Dockett. Well, the run game has been invisible for Atlanta.
You know what that tells you? 1 week, 1 yard without Steven Jackson. Up front, they aren't getting it done. It's on the running backs as well, but up front, they are not getting the job done in the run game.
Ryan's going to throw it to Davis, and he can't make the catch. This game is of huge importance. I mean, Falcons are on the verge of falling to 2-5, and that's a lot to ask to overcome that the rest of the way. Certainly is a long season. But with Arizona, they go to 4-4, and you look at some of the wins they've had. Beat up Carolina at home. All of a sudden, that looks like a good win. They beat the Lions. I'm going to beat up Atlanta today if this continues, barring a miracle. And they put themselves in the mix with this effort today, and with their defense the way it's playing. This catch, nope, Johnson can't make the play. Now look, they play in a division with the 2 best teams, I think, in the NFC, with Seattle and San Francisco. But here's the schedule. They get a bye. Maybe Fitzgerald rests up, John, and you know, Arizona has a chance to put themselves in the mix to be at least a wild card team here.
Yeah, that stretch not too tough. Indy, obviously a tough task coming there. If they get Houston in a down year, Bruce Arians done a fine job with this team. The offense was late to come, but it looked like it arrived here today.
The running game arrived today. Just the second 100-yard team rushing game they've had all year, let alone the job by Ellington. 3rd and 5. Ryan going deep, wide open. Harry Douglas out to midfield. Matthew on the tackle.
And this is gutsy, maybe not even smart if you're the Arizona Cardinals up 27-6. The only way you can lose this game is if they get up top. Look at that. No safety back there. Matt Ryan knows he's got one-on-ones outside. They run a little pick play. And Matthew with great hustle to get Harry Douglas down. Otherwise, he hits his head on the goalpost.
Time of factor, under 8 minutes to go. Tipped at the line again. I mean, you go back to that last replay. Seems like Arizona does that. 2 linebackers with Washington Dansby right over the center all the time.
It's the double-A mug the center. Those guys, straightest line, fastest point to a quarterback, the straight line, right up in the A gaps, right there. A gap here, A gap there. They're going to put guys up there. What that does as well is create singles on the outside.
Come on.
Like
Hey, come on, JB.
Creates a lot of
JB,
confusion
come on.
and a lot of tip balls because the pressure's coming right up the gut.
2.
2nd and 10. Pressure picked up. Ryan incomplete. Terrific coverage that time. It was Rashad Johnson. Let's get a game break from Joel Klatt.
All right, thanks, Kevin. And a crazy day in Denver. The Broncos have come roaring back. No Sean Moreno. 35-yard screen pass for the touchdown. The Broncos would tack on a field goal. They're up 31-21. Kevin, John.
It's 24 unanswered for Denver, isn't it?
24 unanswered and about 24 under their average on the season.
In about 24 seconds, it seems like.
We're here.
Gonzalez has been quiet today. 3rd and 10. Ryan stands in against the pressure, short for Douglas, incomplete.
Matt Ryan throws that early. He hangs in there as long as he can. But just watch this pressure. This is what he's been dealing with all day. Again, Dansby looping pressure in his face. It's disrupted. It's bothered Matt Ryan. He knew it coming in that it would be a challenge to find passing angles. He's been under duress all day.
Falcons are down 21. They've got to go. 4th and 10.
I'm with it.
Ryan has room to run, and he's got the first. Boy, good footwork. It looked like he was a dead duck, but he got out of it and keeps Atlanta alive.
Impressive athleticism for a guy who's not known for being the most fleet of foot. Again, they do the wraparound. Dansby's got a free shot. Need to go to that outside leg. Otherwise, Matt Ryan, even Matt Ryan will make you pay with his legs. Seems like it's the rage in the NFL. Quarterbacks running.
Ryan, they come near side to Johnson for the screen. And Johnson moves forward to a 1st down. Took a big hit from behind. Frosty Rucker came in. It was a neat little play. 11-yard gain.
It's fun watching Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, play football. Gets a little confused, late to go to the football, but watch him make this play. Elude Justin Blaylock with a little 360 and then make the play. That's outstanding football. You see it each and every week from him.
I think Neat does it justice. That was pretty great. Douglas again has a 1st down. It's been an impressive drive from Matt Ryan. I mean, think about the way this was looking. He's keeping his team in it. Time is a huge factor. It's 6:33 to go. And you need 3 touchdowns. Tenth play of the drive. Another completion to Douglas. It's a good hit. Washington was there. Gerard Powers on the tackle as well. And Washington got nicked up, slow to get up.
Washington got a little piece of that hit from his teammate Gerard Powers as well as Harry Douglas.
Ryan knocked away. Who else? Matthew has been an impact player again.
kid's got unbelievable instincts. Always seems to be in the right place. Trust those instincts. Darn near takes that 100 yards for a touchdown. Guy's going to be a good player in this league for a long time. They've been impressed with his work ethic, how hard he works. And there's Tony Gonzalez. That's what he deals with on a week-in, week-out basis in the NFL.
Arizona calls a timeout here. That's their first of the half. 5:37 left. 3-touchdown lead for the Cardinals, so the Falcons absolutely have to get in here. Great day of sports on Fox. Game 4, the World Series tonight from St. Louis. What a wild game last night. Definitely haven't seen an obstruction walk-off before. Certainly not in a World Series game, but that's what happened tonight. Now the Red Sox need a win. With Clay Buchholz and all kinds of questions about his shoulder on the mound after they used their bullpen a lot last night against Lance Lynn. Boy, it's been a well-pitched series, and John, it feels like the Cardinals just kind of go to the streets and sign guys who each throw 105.
105, and then a lot of guys really that aren't household names out on the field, but they just get it done. They don't seem to match up with anyone. They just keep winning baseball games.
I mean, you threw 95. You could go in that mix. John Mozeliak can bring you out of the pen tonight if you'd like.
A little old for their rotation. They're all 22.
Come on with me.
Unusual to keep the Falcons off the board like they've been today on a 3rd and 2. Going end zone, not there. Darius Johnson, the intended receiver. Matthew was on the coverage. And now essentially the game on the line here for Atlanta.
Well, Tony Gonzalez is at the bottom of the screen. You can't see him. He's doubled. That means these guys are going to be on one-on-one coverage. Problem is that one-on-one coverage. It's Tyrann Mathieu. He's been all over the field. You see the double with Washington and Bell on Tony Gonzalez. Not going to let him beat them.
Hey, Mike, on the line.
Now Gonzalez goes up there. Here goes double coverage again.
Knocked away, and there's a flag. Hang on. Matthew thinks he got it down, but I think he's going to be flagged on a 4th down. And Matthew's saying, wait a second.
Pass interference. Defense number 32. The foul call in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Let's see. We've got contact there. Contact there. You got it.
I don't agree with it. I think Toilolo is the guy who was reaching around more than anything.
Well, but Toilolo trying to come back to the football. Tyrann Mathieu essentially runs right through it. Cardinals don't like it. That's the call.
But Matthew was turned around. Doesn't he have the right to get the ball too?
Doesn't matter if he's turned around or not. I think there's contact. I'm an old DB, and I think it's pass interference. But again, not the contact there. Ball's in the air. Is there contact? Yeah, there is. I think a good call.
So that will keep Atlanta going here with 5:27 to go. Down 3 touchdowns. They got to get in, and they got to get in soon. As Arizona, by the way, called their 2nd timeout of the half just to kind of regroup after not agreeing with that. You see Mike Carey having a discussion with Calais Campbell.
I see Bruce Arians. He's telling him, look, the guy's all over my guy. You're calling pass interference.
John, I've wrote a little note in my phone. Going to mark this day down, the day John Lynch agrees with a wide receiver. And I'm going to go back to it at some point in our futures.
He's a Stanford guy. Throw him a little ball. That's the bottom line.
Oh, I love it. Bruce Arians doesn't love it, however. As at least for now, the Falcons remain alive.
And one thing you know with the Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan, there's no quit in these guys. They will continue to fight you to the end. And as a result, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, you got to finish them. You got to put the dagger in them.
It's a 1st and goal. A fake. Ryan in deep trouble. Toilolo. Oh, man, what a hit. Goodness, it was Carlos Dansby. Flying like a Cardinal.
Kevin, you talked earlier. You just see people flashing all over the field with speed. It starts with the pressure on Matt Ryan. Frosty Rucker, he's going to get upfield, put pressure in his face right away. Then the throw, but here comes Darryl Washington. Excuse me, Carlos Dansby looks like Darryl Washington because he's running so fast with the tackle.
It's a loss of 2. That's Drew Davis in motion. Ryan's got a wide open man touchdown. Drew Davis. And so the Falcons do what they have to do, and they stay alive and score their first touchdown of the game with 4:38 to play.
Watch Drew Davis. He's going to come cross country, cross the field. A little pick, if you will, a little rub route by Harry Douglas creates some traffic for Tyrann Mathieu and leaves Drew Davis wide open.
14-play, 80-yard drive, keep the Falcons alive. 2nd career touchdown for Drew Davis. Falcons staying alive. 4:38 to go. Still have work in front of them. They're down 2 touchdowns, but they do have 3 timeouts, and the Cardinals are expecting an onside kick. Onside kicks in the league this year, teams successful just 2 of 22 times, but the Falcons have converted on 1 of 2 tries. Matt Bosher, their punter, is the guy that handles the job here. That's a good one, and Bosher, did he get it?
Got it.
I think Bosher got his own kick. Waiting on the signal.
Yes, he does.
They got it. And the Falcons are alive.
You watch. Typically they go to the outside. Just a little dribble. Matt Bosher tracks it the whole time. Hits off Stephon Taylor. And then Bosher jumps on it. I mean, you cannot hit it any more gentle than that. Nice job by Bosher. And then you're surprised that a kicker can hold on to it, because I've been underneath those piles and I know what happens, and it's not good things. The kickers normally can't deal with that, but Bosher says, all right, I'll fight y'all for the ball.
First of all, great shot. Second of all, how about the patience? Look at that. How about the patience by Bosher? He slowly trotted, didn't get ahead of the ball, and now the Falcons have life. Down 2 touchdowns, but 3 timeouts left. 4:37 to play, and a flag.
Ball start. Offense number 76, 5-yard penalty is still first.
Mike Carey almost disgusted to announce that penalty. That's on Lamar Holmes.
We talked about the fight of Mike Smith and this Atlanta Falcons. They aren't just going to go away. You've got to put them away. Matt Ryan got a lot of fight in him. He's got a lot of talent. We'll see who he relies on. The Arizona Cardinals been making a pointed effort to keep Tony Gonzalez out of the game as Arthur Blank looks on anxiously.
It's a 1st and 15 after the penalty. They set up a screen. Johnson breaks a tackle. He's out to the 48, picks up the 5 yards back. Joe Klatt has a game break for us.
That's right, Kevin. And coming up after football, it's Game 4 of the World Series right here on Fox. The man at the middle of the controversy last night, Will Middlebrooks, and the Boston Red Sox look to tie it at 2 out to St. Louis after football.
It's going to be a trivia question answer one day. Will Middlebrooks, 2nd and 10. Ryan near side. Oh, nice diving catch. Darius Johnson That'll be good for a first down.
They're calling him out of bounds now.
Really? They say out of bounds?
One official says out of bounds. The other's marking it.
Have to see another angle, I think.
Left elbow down, his head then hits out. I think that's a catch. One official signaled it incomplete.
It's an incomplete pass. They're down.
Let's see. Appears he brings the ball in, left shoulder down. I believe that's a catch and worthy of being challenged. It's not the ball, it's whether he's in bounds or not.
Yeah, they're going to challenge. Mike Smith's going to challenge. This is a big play. Matt Ryan, by the way, has a new career high with 55 attempts. 31 of 55, 279. Here's something to keep in mind as they look at this play.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. It's being challenged by Atlanta. It'll be under review. Timeout.
John, something to keep in mind here. This Cardinals defense been on the field for a long time. Atlanta's got a lot of ground to make up. We'll discuss that when we come back. Here's what the officials are looking at. This catch by Darius Johnson, which would move the chains. It's a big play here. And John Lynch, I think you're over it. I think you're all over it. The elbow and the shoulder down. But let's get the opinion from Mike Pereira back in the command center in L.A. Mike?
I think two things you have to look at here. What hit first? And you got to focus on the left elbow. That touches down inbounds first. And then it becomes a process. Did he hold on to the ball after he hit the ground? And I think he did. So if I might carry under the hood, I'm looking at these two factors, and I think it's enough to reverse this to a catch at the sideline.
Great minds think alike, Mike Pereira.
Well, you and I always have, John.
After
That's
review,
what's amazing to
the
me.
receiver had control. When he came down inbounds with his elbow, went out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Therefore, it's Atlanta's ball, 1st and 10 on the 42. Atlanta will not be charged with a team timeout.
Mike, excellent work. Thank you, Mike Pereira, doing the job back in L.A., and he is right. And John Lynch, you called it right away. Great job, and that's big. Obviously gets a first and moves the chains, but Atlanta does not use a timeout. They've got all three left. 4:03 to play, down 14. And what I said going to break is about the fatigue factor. Atlanta's run 73 plays to Arizona's 44. Ryan goes down. Calais Campbell. Forced sack for the Cardinals.
Calais Campbell, we talked about having to put the dagger in Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Calais Campbell busts through and finishes Matt Ryan with the big sack.
It's a loss of 8. And Ryan's going to get it to Rodgers, and Rodgers contained pretty well there.
And Kev, you go back to the sack. You see the little stunt, the pick and roll again with Calais Campbell. And here's how you celebrate come World Series time. You bring down Matt Ryan, and then you go Big Papi on him from the right side.
Pressure, Ryan coming to Johnson, incomplete. Coverage over there by Gerard Powers. Arthur Blank hoping for a penalty flag. And now it's a 4th and 15. 4 sacks, 10 knockdowns on Matt Ryan from this Arizona D, and it's all on the line here with 3:08 to go.
Tell you, Kevin, Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator for the Falcons, you don't have a whole lot of plays on your sheet for 4th and 15. Sounds like me to a good one. Throw it to 88. Tony Gonzalez. He typically comes down with them.
And that's not going to help. That looks to be the 5th false start of the game.
False start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty, still 4th.
5 false starts for Atlanta. A few guys moved on that particular play.
Well, it was the whole left side, Blaylock and Lamar Holmes, who jumped. Makes it even tougher for the Atlanta Falcons.
Mike Nolan, I don't know if he's going to have any much time left. Doesn't matter if Atlanta doesn't get a 4th and 20 here. Pressure, Ryan lets it fly. And it's going to be intercepted for the 4th time. Rashad Johnson. It's amazing. The Cardinals have the recipe to picking off Matt Ryan. 4 interceptions today. Dansby got the pressure, and Arizona's going to lock this one up.
Well, all this is Rashad Johnson. He plays like John Jay or Jacoby Ellsbury in center field, but it's the pressure from Dansby. They keep on running these games, coming right in Matt Ryan's face. Nothing Matt Ryan can do but just chuck it. And Rashad Johnson brings down the easy pick. That kind of heat all day is what has led to the 4 interceptions. 9 in the last 2 games against Matt Ryan. Unbelievable.
Defense has been outstanding, and the Cardinals look to salt it away. It's Taylor.
Here's a flashback to last season, week 11. Remember, this was a win for Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, but 5 interceptions by the Arizona defense. We saw a couple of tips. There's another one. But the formula, heat in his face, and Matt Ryan has struggled. 9 interceptions last 2 games and barely throws any against anybody else.
3 interceptions on the year coming into today. I mean, 3 on the year. He's got 4 today. That man, Rashad Johnson's got 2. And your World Series analogies have been impeccable all day long. I think it just goes to show you, though, this Arizona team, if they get any offense with their defense, they can be legit.
No doubt about it. You see Darrell Washington there reading the eyes of Matt Ryan. Rashad Johnson, those are 2 about as easy as you can get it. And then Tyrann Mathieu going and getting another one. 4 on the day for this Arizona defense.
They've held the Falcons to 27 rushing yards. And consider that Matt Ryan has thrown 59 times. 293 yards is a lot, but not when you've thrown it 60 times. Done a great job. Taylor. He's going to waste that clock down. The Falcons have 2 timeouts left. I believe they'll call one here. You know, this is a guy worth talking about. Tom Pratt, at 78 years old, 35th season in the NFL. He coached in Super Bowl I, and he coached you, John Lynch.
He did coach me down in Tampa, Florida, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Super Bowl I. How about that? Tom Pratt, an excellent coach. They bring him in as a defensive line coach to help out Brinston Buckner, who took on...
I mean, he coached in Super Bowl I and II with the Chiefs. He coached a guy like Derek Thomas. He had a second stint in Kansas City. He coached a guy like Warren Sapp. He coached football in Japan for a couple years as a special consultant. How about that? I mean, how many guys that have that type of NFL success? It's one thing you hear baseball in Japan, but football in Japan?
You don't even know. You see, they didn't have headsets when he first started coaching, so he doesn't know how those things work. He got the microphone up in the wrong way, and there's Tom Moore, another old hat. Had a great time talking with Tom Moore down on the field before the game. Coached my old coach, Tony Dungy, at the University of Minnesota, Pittsburgh Steelers, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings. This guy's been all over and done it extremely well, along with Tom Pratt.
He coached Terry Bradshaw and those great Steeler teams. You want to talk about some knowledge on this coaching staff. They've got to be happy today. It's their best effort of the year. Taylor. And that'll move it. As we were in that timeout, Atlanta's going to call their final timeout, I believe, with 2:44 to go. Check me out. That's the second timeout for Atlanta. And Mike Smith's got to wonder now, with his Falcons at 2-5, and they've got a rough road ahead in the NFC, which is a lot of parity, but that just means there's a lot of teams to jump over.
Well, this is a team that's just been ravaged with injuries, and you look on the defensive side of the ball, Sean Weatherspoon, Croy Bierman. You look on the offensive side of the ball, Julio Jones, Roddy White, Mike Johnson before the season on the offensive line. Steven Jackson lost significant action.
Yeah.
It's hard to compete in this league when not only your players, but some of your best players on your roster are out due to injury.
Saw Roddy White with the hat. That's Sean Weatherspoon, the linebacker, and Matt Ryan looking forlorn on the sidelines. Other side, GM Steve Kine. So Michael Bidwell in the back there, running this Cardinal organization. It's been a good day for them, as that will keep things moving. Hausler, his first catch of the day, and time is ticking down. Palmer has had himself a day. When you look at the stat line, you might not know it, but he's played very well.
Yeah, you got to give Carson his due. He's been beat up this season, and probably rightly so. He was not playing good football prior to this game, but he came out today. It didn't start great with the interception,
right,
but he has responded, and responded in a big way, throwing some absolute lasers here.
We've hit the 2-minute warning in Arizona. Tom Pratt still coaching, liking what he sees. His Cardinals in front. Matt Ryan versus rest of NFL. Last 2 years, 12 interceptions. Versus the Arizona Cardinals, 9.
His kryptonite. It's unreal what they've done to him, because he's a guy who just does not make mistakes, and he certainly has versus the Arizona Cardinal defense.
I showed you Larry Fitzgerald there as Taylor gets the carry. Having some good moments during the break, and now the Cardinals will head to their bye at 4-4 and very much in the playoff race. Tony Gonzalez and this Falcons team verge of dropping to 2-5. This Cardinals offense woke up today.
Well, and this is what everyone expected. The ball down the field with Bruce Arians. No one expected this. They found a Jim and Andre Ellington. Carson Palmer getting rid of the ball. Slam dunking going around. This Cardinal offense, they went from a V4 to a V8 today. Andre Ellington leading the charge. Carson Palmer leading the charge. Felt like our Equinox driving over here today. They'll V4. They got the Corvette going now.
Well, it was going in full speed. Back to you, John.
Back to me.
2nd and 12. Back to the field. Cardinals are going to run it out. Stephon Taylor. And I think when it's all said and done, you can look at a lot of different things. We've certainly talked about the injuries and the impact here. Cardinals defense, but the Cardinals came in with a run game that was 26 in the league, that was spearheaded by Rashard Mendenhall. They had 2 rookies play today, and they tore it up.
And it's very similar. They didn't have a bye, but they came off a Thursday night game. They had 10 days, and sometimes that forces coaches to really make some decisions. We saw Atlanta the week before. They went with the youth on defense in particular, and it served them well. Certainly served them well. It was by injury. But to let these young guys go and then maybe play a little more aggressive as a whole.
Andre Ellington. That's Taylor with the ball, but we showed you 38 with that shot from behind. 15 carries. That's an NFL career high for him. 159 yards, an 80-yard touchdown. It's a guy that hadn't carried more than 7 times in a game until today, and the results evident. Falcons won't be able to stop the clock anymore on this 4th down. And the flag is flown. Cardinals take a delay game. They'll likely punt it away, but this game is over.
Really is, Kevin, interesting. You come into this game feeling like Arizona really struggling. They can't get anything going offensively. They got a good defense. They hadn't been dominant this season, but they had been really good. Atlanta, you feel like, you know what, they could climb back in this thing based off their effort last week. And that's why the NFL is great, because you never know what's going to happen. The Cardinals figure it out on offense. Their defense steps it up a notch, and Atlanta Falcons just don't look good.
That's out of bounds. And it's think about the NFL. Every week you kind of get a different feel. So you look at today, a lot of things happen today. I mean, the Lions, you're thinking, man, can they go out and get in front of their division? They lose a heartbreaker. And then you're thinking this game, well, the Cardinals are in trouble. They've lost to Seattle and 49ers. Now they're 4-4. And now they're putting themselves in position to get back in the mix.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and the Lions did come back. It looked like they were going to lose. Dallas came
I'm sorry,
back
the Lions
on them.
won, excuse me.
Dallas was out in front. But the Cardinals, you got to give Bruce Arians a lot of credit because he's kept this group together under a lot of criticism. People were calling for Carson Palmer's job. He stuck with them, and it looks like it's paying dividends here today.
Matt Ryan, a little behind Douglas. And what I meant to say there is you think the Cowboys are going to run away with it, and then all of a sudden they come back to the pack, and the Lions take a step in front. It just changes every week. You know, how about Carolina? A couple weeks ago, you're thinking, well, they're not in the mix, and now they've played great. There's the NFC East. Redskins likely going to lose, and they're down by 24. It's just, you know, no one seems to want to take control of things in that NFC East. Falcons are going to go to 2-5. These Cardinals about to go to 4-4. Get themselves a big win and feel good heading to the bye. Larry Fitzgerald will heal that hamstring up. A little, what's going on here? A little scuffle. As we go to break. But it's the Cardinals' day. They win at 27-13 back from Glendale in a moment.